Hello and welcome to NDTV News. I'm Sarah Dadewe Apa, the highlights. Governor Dere inaugurates 6 new Yenagoa schools. Stakeholders call for the protection and preservation of wildlife in Bayelsa State. Plus, 7.7 magnitude earthquake hits Myanmar. And now the details. Governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Doye Dere, on Friday inaugurated 6 newly created secondary schools in the state capital, Yenagoa. The schools are located in Biogbolo, Yenizwe-Pie, Ovom, Ekeki, Akemfa, and Igbogene communities and have a combined population of 4,628 students. Speaking during the joint inauguration at the government secondary school, Biogbolo, Governor Dere said his administration was bequeathing legacy projects that was paid for him at the end of his tenure. He explained that on assumption of office, he realized there was a deficit in school infrastructure and he decided to approve the construction of schools across the state capital. He said his decision was not misplaced as the schools have provided access to education for children who would have been deprived education due to lack of schools. Governor Dere said building the human capacity was a top priority of his government and it would continue to embark on programs to train children at their impressionable ages in order to inculcate the right attitudes and skills in them. In his remarks, the Commissioner for Education, Dr. Gentle Imela, said the administration had changed the education narrative of the state by creating an enabling environment for learning for the children, adding that the inauguration of the schools had expanded access to education. Also speaking, the paramount ruler of Biogbolo community is Royal Highness Frank Amos, who spoke on behalf of traditional rulers of other beneficiary communities, applauded the governor for the initiative. The traditional ruler noted that Yenizwe-Pie community was having a secondary school for the first time since in its existence. Present at the event were the Speaker, Right Honorable Abraham Ingobere, former Deputy Governor and Chairman Bayelsa Elders Council, Rear Admiral Borbia John Jonah, top government functionaries, and traditional rulers. Ahead of a planned mega rally in Yenagoa in solidarity with the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, Governor Doye Dere directs all security service chiefs to be on red alert, declaring that the event must not hold. Governor Dere gave the declaration during the 137th Security Council meeting of the Prosperity Administration. Government House correspondent George Amele was there and now completes the report.
The 137th Security Council meeting of the Prosperity Administration held on Thursday. It is the first in the year 2025, with all security chiefs in attendance. Governor Dere addresses some recent happenings, especially a publication making the round of a planned mega rally in Yenagoa, built for next month in honor of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. Governor Dere gives the marching order for such a provocative event not to manifest, given the potential to elicit trouble.
Now, some persons from this state, particularly one George Turner, is threatening the peace of this state. And recently, there is a Facebook report with his own number that he is going to host the Minister of FCT in Tombia Roundabout in Bayelsa. The minister is not from Bayelsa State. This is not FCT. This is Bayelsa State. All service commanders should be at alert. That meeting must not take place in Bayelsa State. And nobody should import and export insecurity in their states to Bayelsa State. This government and the security agencies have worked tirelessly to keep the peace of this state. If somebody cannot take care of their state, they shouldn't import it to where we have peace. The people of Bayelsa, the Ijaw people are peace-loving people. Any of such gatherings should not and will not hold in Bayelsa State.
For the Bayelsa State Governor, the cordial relationship between the federal and Bayelsa State government needs enhancement and not a wrong signal of Bayelsa State being at loggerheads with the federal government.
People are not fighting federal government. We are rather supporting the government of Tinubu for what he is doing in Bayelsa State, particularly for giving the contract of phase 2 of Nembe Brass Road, and the contractor has come to report himself. And like Oliver Twist, we are asking for more for Ekeremo Age Road to partner with us. For Oporoma Ukubie Koluama Road to partner with us. And we are happy that the president is doing that. So why will anybody want to set the job people against the federal government?
Governor Diri reminded all that Bayelsa State government's civility should not be misconstrued as a sign of weakness, noting that on no account will be troublemakers dare the state government. From the Owoye Azazi Security Control Center in Government House, Yenagwa, George Ameli reporting for NDTV News.
Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doye Diri has again appealed to President Bola Tinubu to reconsider his declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State, but rather set up a committee to reconcile the different parties to the dispute in the state. Governor Diri contended that the Rivers crisis can be resolved through dialogue, adding that the Ijaw ethnic nationality was not in conflict with the president or the federal government of Nigeria. The Bayelsa governor made the appeal on Wednesday at the Emergency Stakeholders Congress of the Ijaw National Congress (INC), which held at the Ijaw House in Yenagwa. He urged President Tinubu and the National Assembly to constitute a committee of eminent personalities to immediately intervene and restore peace and bring the legally constituted government back to office in Rivers. According to Governor Diri, the Ijaw people remain committed to the unity and progress of Nigeria, and as one of the major and largest ethnic groups, alongside other ethnic nationalities, had made immense sacrifices for the country's unity and prosperity. In a welcome address, the INC president, Professor Benjamin Okaba, appreciated the Ijaw men and women of good conscience, Niger Deltans, Nigerians, and the international community for their unflinching support for justice and equity in the ongoing Rivers political crisis. Professor Okaba stressed that the position of emergency rule and suspension of any governor by President Tinubu under whatever guise constituted a great assault on the principles of justice, democratic governance, and the sanctity of the people's mandate. In her keynote address, rights activist Ms. Ankyo Briggs said the Ijaw nation forefathers like King Koko of Nembe, King Jaja of Opobo, Isaac Adakaboro, and others that fought for the rights of their descendants foresaw the happenings of today and noted that it was now the responsibility of the people to safeguard and improve on what they hold in their custody. Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doye Diri has raised an alarm about a plot to breach the peace of the state. He revealed that a mega rally and inauguration of a group loyal to the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, was being planned to hold in the state, stressing that it was capable of igniting avoidable crises in the state. The Bayelsa governor spoke on the issue on Thursday at separate meetings with the Bayelsa Elders Council and at the 37th session of the State Security Council. He warned that the state government would not condone any act that would disrupt the peace of the state, advising security commanders, youths, elders, and traditional rulers to be on their alert. The governor also stated that holding such events at a time the political crisis in Rivers State had heightened ethnic tensions could degenerate the conflict in the state. It further stated that the alarm was imperative given that the FCT minister had threatened to cause crisis in PDP-governed states in the country, adding that a suspended member of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), George Turner, had been enlisted to create factions in the party in the state. Diriwo insisted that the peaceful disposition of the Ijos should not be misconstrued for cowardice, said the state would not allow a faceless group to foment trouble in Bayelsa, which is the homeland of all Ijo people. Addressing the electricity situation in the state, Diri explained that the current blackout resulted from vandalized towers in River State and assured that it would work with relevant bodies to restore power, adding that with the procurement of a gas turbine, the state will soon experience steady power supply. Theater lovers and literary enthusiasts were in high spirits as they gathered at the Gabriel Okara Cultural Center in Yenagoa to celebrate World Theater Day and also to throw their weight behind playwright Ineye Dudafa at the official unveiling of his book titled Mangroves in the Desert. Correspondent Tari Ikide was there for NDTV News. A report.
World Theatre Day is annually celebrated globally by theatre lovers on March 27th to showcase the value and importance of the arts and the need for government and other institutions to recognize its potential for economic growth. In line with the celebration of this day, Ineye Dudafa chose to officially unveil his book, Mangroves in the Desert, a play which chronicles the struggle of the Niger Delta for the development of the region without resources, rather than other parts of the country.
1998 is when the Kayama Declaration was done, and I am from Kolokmokokma, headquarters Kayama, and I witnessed some of the problems, and I decided to document it in dramatic form.
It's a thing of joy because it just came as a script. We all took our lines, did the rehearsals, performed it. To see that today it is now a book that people can go back to. Students can take it up, research on it.
I would just want to encourage other writers, both prose and playwrights, to at least document this the same way Ineye Dudafa has done it, because it will keep reminding our people where we are coming from, what we are as a people, and what we suffer as a people.
Performance here depicts the true nature of the Niger Delta.
Reviewing the book, Professor Christy Nodi stated that the timing of the book is apt, as it entails the Niger Delta struggle of the past, present, and new approaches for the future generations.
The main idea in Mangrove in the Desert, the thought, is the agitation of our boys in the creek. As a matter of fact, it is the agitation of all of us, because until our yearnings are assented to, this struggle will not end.
Highlight of the occasion was the presentation of excerpts of the play by the State Council for Arts and Culture.
Must continue to remain and flow here.
It is an open secret that the resources of the Niger Delta are being used forcefully to enrich and develop other regions, while the owners continue to die in poverty. How do we solve the problems in the Niger Delta when it comes to our resources? That is what the author, Ineye Dudafa, have encapsulated in this book, Mangrove in the Desert. From the Gabriel Okara Cultural Center in Yenagoa, I am Tari Ikide, reporting for NDTV News.
We say congratulations to Ineye Dudafa. Moving on, stakeholders have emphasized the need to protect and preserve wildlife in Bayelsa State. They stressed this during a public forum tagged Developing a Legal Framework for Wildlife Conservation in Bayelsa State, organized by a non-governmental organization known as Southwest Niger Delta Forest Project. Correspondent Gift Kalio has details of the event, which held at the Golden Tulip Hotel in Yenagoa. And details of this report will be brought to you on our subsequent bulletin. You're watching news on Niger Delta Television. On the headlines, Governor Dere inaugurates 6 new Yenigua schools. Stakeholders call for the protection and preservation of wildlife in Bayelsa State. Details of these and other stories will come your way after the break. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Niger Delta Television News and Current Affairs Department at the NSE Cody Media Complex here in Yenigua, Bayelsa State.
One of NDTV's traditional objectives is to disseminate information with renewed vigor. We build teamwork for accountability, efficiency, and accuracy.
Our community reports, eyewitness accounts, current affairs discussions are detailed and competitive.
As NDTV reporters, undiluted report is our goal. We gather the news and bring it to you just as it is.
Our cameras are poised to get in the story behind the story in an in-depth news report.
Our new digital equipment are top-notch with clearer visuals and audio. NDTV is repositioned to serve you better.
Join us on the news every day at 7 a.m., 12 p.m. and our major bulletin at 7:30 p.m. on Channel 25 UHF. NDTV, crystallizing the vision.
And the news continues. The acting general manager of Niger Delta Television, Mr. Frederick Fabo, has charged students to focus on their studies and be good ambassadors of society. Mr. Frederick Fabo stated this during an excursion visit by students of the Unique International Academy Amarata Yenigua to NDTV. Correspondent Janet Omote has the report.
While receiving the students of the Unique International Academy, the acting general manager of NDTV, Mr. Frederick Fabo, urged the children to be good ambassadors as future leaders.
Don't keep bad friends. What did I say? Don't keep bad friends. So that's my advice to you. Be good citizens. Your mother, your father, your teachers, all of us will be proud of you. Because like I said, they are the future leaders of tomorrow. Some of you will be governors, some of you will go to House of Assembly. So this is the foundation they are laying for you.
Head teacher of the Unique International Academy, Mrs. Fulutu Abayola, and some students, after appreciating NDTV management and staff, said they were enlightened by the visit.
The children have learned so much. We got to see a lot, from the general manager to the editing room to the newsroom, a lot. And finally we got to where the antenna is, where information is being transmitted to our various homes. We want to say it's really enlightening, and we're happy to be here.
I think it was nice. I liked it. I learned a lot, like how the system works.
Highlight of the excursion was a tour around NDTV, various departments, and a group photograph.
News is a recent something, an event that happened, so that when people hear it, they will say, have you gotten this information? I heard this on social news, either maybe radio, newspaper, or the television. So outside that, you can get your news as a person. You can get your news from the newspaper, the radio, or the TV station.
Editing is removing the unwanted things from video clips recorded by the cameraman. I think that's the simplest definition.
Master control room, that if any signal that is coming from the various places we come to here before we send it to the transmitter, then the transmitter to our home for our view.
Janet Tuomute reporting for NDTV.
Thanks, Janet. The federal government has declared Monday 31st and Tuesday 1st April 2025 as public holidays to mark this year's Eid al-Fitr celebration, which comes after the Muslim month-long Ramadan fast. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Interior, Magdalene Ajani, announced the holidays in a statement issued on Wednesday. Nigeria's Minister of Interior is Olubunmi Tunji Ojo. The first, which kicked off on March 1st, 2025, with holy obligations, which feature acts of charity to the less privileged and heightened prayers, is expected to end on Saturday or Sunday. In another development, President John Mahama of Ghana on Thursday visited President Bola Tinubu at the State House, Abuja. According to reports, Mahama came to update Tinubu on diplomatic efforts with the military leaders of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso aimed at addressing regional security and stability. It was John Mahama's first official visit to the presidential villa since his inauguration on January 7, 2025. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has urged the Nigerian government to accompany its economic stabilization policies with targeted social welfare transfers to support the most vulnerable populations. IMF Director of Communications, Julie Kozak, made this known during a routine press conference at the IMF headquarters in Washington, D.C. on Thursday. Kozak acknowledged the challenges many Nigerians faced and stressed the importance of prioritizing support for vulnerable households. She said completing the rollout of cash transfers to vulnerable households and improving domestic revenue mobilization should be key priorities for Nigeria. Kozak also announced that IMF staff would visit Nigeria next week to prepare for the 2025 Article 4 consultation. Moving on to some foreign stories now. Myanmar was hit Friday by a powerful 7.7 magnitude quake, with tremors felt across Thailand as well as in neighboring Chinese provinces. 3 people have been reported dead in Myanmar after a mosque partially collapsed, while at least 20 people were injured after a hotel collapsed in Ong Ban. In Thailand, at least 1 person was killed and dozens of workers were rescued from under the rubble of the skyscraper under construction in Bangkok. The United States Geological Survey, USGS, said the quake, which struck at lunchtime, was of 7.7 magnitude and at a depth of 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles thereabout. It was followed by a powerful aftershock. Meanwhile, Myanmar's ruling military has declared a state of emergency in multiple regions. Moving on to the entertainment scene, Annie Idibia drops ex-husband's name, and Patience Ozoko reflects on balancing motherhood and acting career. For details of these and other entertainment stories, let's join Aliko Favor.
Popular Nigerian actress Annie Macaulay, formerly known as Annie Idibia, has regressed to her media name following her separation from Innocent Idibia, professionally known as Two-Face. Annie, who has been silent since Two-Face announced their separation, finally broke her silence by making a post on her page, referring to herself as Annie Wana Macaulay. She expressed her gratitude to her family, friends, followers, and the public for standing by her during her difficult times, highlighting how thankful she was for all their love and support. Veteran Nollywood actress Patience Ozoko has shared the inspiring story of how she balanced motherhood and a thriving acting career, crediting her family and community for their unwavering support. Speaking on the Life Unscripted podcast, Ozoko revealed that having children early helped her navigate life's challenges, especially after her husband lost his job. As her career soared, Ozoko took on multiple movies projects at a time, gradually building financial stability. Her journey is a testament of resilience, family strength, and the power of a supportive community in achieving success. Aliko Joseph Favor, reporting for NDTV Entertainment News.
Thanks, Favor. And now to the ever-busy world of sports. In a midweek NPFL match encounter, Bayelsa United defeated Rivers United 1-0 at the Samson CSS Stadium, completing a league double over Rivers United. For more on sports stories, let's join Ayemi Miene.
Bayelsa United had won the reverse fixture 1-0 in Port Harcourt, and so Rivers United started strong, pressing the home side high up the pitch and looking to dominate. But Bayelsa United remained calm and focused throughout. However, in the 13th minute, Yusuf Issa launched a brilliant move, taking out two players before finding Kehinde Malik, who made a brilliant run and was immediately within shooting range, pulled a beautiful strike that nestled into the net. Both sides had a couple of chances, but Bayelsa United were able to hold on to their 1-0 lead at the end of the final whistle. They have 41 points and are currently 11th on the log. Rena Wakama, the head coach of D Tigress, has joined Tyler Marsh as an assistant coach for the Chicago Sky, a professional women's basketball team in the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA. In 2023, Rena became the first female head coach to win an Afro Basketball Championship with Nigeria's women's basketball team. Under her leadership, D Tigress won their 4th straight title, further solidifying their supremacy in Africa. The team went on to become the first African team, male or female, to make it to the quarterfinals of the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris under her leadership. For her accomplishments in Paris, she was named FIBA's best coach, making her one of the youngest coaches in the history of the Olympics. Ayemi Miene for NDTV Sports.
That sports report from Miene ends our bulletin for today. And before we go, we'll take another look at stories that made headlines. Governor of Bayelsa State Senator Doye Jerry on Friday inaugurated 6 newly created secondary schools in the state capital, Yenagoa. We also brought to you a report that stakeholders have emphasized the need to protect and preserve wildlife in Bayelsa State. And finally, Myanmar was hit Friday by a powerful 7.7 magnitude quake, with tremors felt across Thailand as well as in neighboring Chinese provinces. 3 people have been reported dead in Myanmar after a mosque partially collapsed, while at least 20 people were injured after a hotel collapsed in Ong Bang. That's the size of our bulletin. Thanks for watching. I'm Sarah Dadiru Alpa. Bye for now.